Welcome back. In our last episode, we learned how our guest accidentally found a passion for cybersecurity and eventually built a startup protecting enterprises and industrial organizations. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on what the industry is really like. If you're an engineering person, this episode might completely change the way you think about cybersecurity. Let's begin with an important question. What do cybersecurity textbooks get wrong?
Textbooks usually explain attacks one at a time. Here's phishing, here's malware, here's ransomware, here's SQL injection. Real organizations experience all of these simultaneously. Cybersecurity isn't about learning isolated attacks, it's about managing thousands of events happening every second. Think of an airport. Security officers don't deal with one passenger at a time. They're monitoring hundreds of cameras, access points, baggage scanners, and security systems simultaneously. Modern cybersecurity works the same way.
What surprised you most when you entered the industry?
How much time we spend preventing problems instead of responding to them. People imagine cybersecurity professionals chasing hackers all day. In reality, we spend much of our time reviewing configurations, updating security policies, patching systems, monitoring logs, improving visibility, running security assessments, training employees. If these preventive measures are done well, many attacks never become incidents. The best cybersecurity teams are often the quietest because they stop problems before anyone notices them.
People hear the term SOC all the time. Can you explain what it really is?
Imagine the control room at an international airport, large screens, constant monitoring, teams communicating, decisions being made in real time. A Security Operations Center or SOC is very similar. It's the nerve center of an organization's cybersecurity operations. Analysts continuously monitor login attempts, network traffic, cloud activity, firewall alerts, endpoint behavior, email security, user activity, threat intelligence feeds. Their job is simple to describe, but incredibly challenging to perform. Detect attacks before they become disasters.
So the SOC isn't waiting for something to break, it's watching continuously.
Exactly. Cybersecurity is a 24/7 responsibility. Attackers don't stop at 5 p.m., so neither does security monitoring.
Here's a question many people have. How does a company actually know it's being attacked?
Rarely because someone announces it. Instead, security tools detect unusual behavior. For example, an employee account suddenly logs in from two different countries within minutes. A server begins sending unusually large amounts of data outside the organization. Hundreds of failed login attempts target the same application. A workstation starts encrypting thousands of files unexpectedly. Individually, these events might not mean much. Together, they can indicate an active cyber attack. Security monitoring is about recognizing patterns, not isolated events.
Some people imagine security software automatically catches everything. Is that realistic?
No security tool catches everything. Technology helps. People make decisions. Threat detection combines automated monitoring, artificial intelligence, behavioral analytics, threat intelligence, human investigation. The tools raise the alarm. Security professionals decide what the alarm actually means.
Let's talk about hiring. What skills matter more than GPA?
Five stand out. 1. Curiosity. Cybersecurity changes constantly. People who enjoy learning adapt faster. 2. Analytical thinking. Can you connect seemingly unrelated events? Many investigations resemble detective work. 3. Communication. Explaining risk to business leaders is just as important as finding technical problems. If executives don't understand the risk, they won't support the solution. 4. Patience. Some incidents take hours or days to investigate. Jumping to conclusions often makes things worse. 5. Documentation. A well documented investigation saves future teams enormous amounts of time. Writing clearly is an underrated cybersecurity skill.
Let's stir up a little debate. What's overhyped in cybersecurity?
The idea that buying one expensive product solves security. Organizations sometimes think we bought the latest security platform, we're protected. Unfortunately, cybersecurity doesn't work like that. Technology is only one layer. People, processes, governance, training, incident response, regular testing, those matter just as much. There is no install once and forget solution.
Let's revisit something from the previous episode. Enterprise security and industrial security sound similar. What's the biggest practical difference?
The priority. In enterprise IT, confidentiality is often critical. Protecting customer information, financial records, intellectual property. In industrial environments, availability and safety become equally important. Imagine a manufacturing plant. If security software unexpectedly shuts down a production system, the financial loss could be enormous. That's why protecting operational technology requires balancing security with continuous operations. It's a different mindset.
People also hear the term vulnerability management. Why is it so important?
Every software application contains weaknesses. Some are already known, others are newly discovered. Vulnerability management is the ongoing process of identifying, prioritizing, and fixing those weaknesses before attackers exploit them. Think of it like maintaining a bridge. You don't wait for it to collapse before repairing small cracks. You inspect it regularly. Organizations do the same with their digital infrastructure.
What about ethical hacking? Is that what most cybersecurity professionals do?
Ethical hacking is important, but it's only one part of cybersecurity. Ethical security testing involves simulating attacks in a controlled, authorized manner. The goal isn't to prove you're clever. The goal is to help the organization improve. A good penetration tester doesn't celebrate finding weaknesses, they help eliminate them.
Many people ask, why am I learning SOC, vulnerability management, and threat detection? How would you answer?
Because modern organizations depend on them. Imagine you're protecting a smart factory. First, you monitor systems continuously. That's the SOC. Then you identify weaknesses before attackers do. That's vulnerability management. You simulate attacks to validate defenses. That's ethical security testing. When combined, these practices dramatically reduce risk. These aren't separate subjects, they're parts of one continuous security strategy.
Today's conversation highlights something important. Cybersecurity isn't about chasing hackers through computer screens. It's about building resilient organizations. It's about preparation, visibility, teamwork, and smart decision making. Next time, we're diving into the stories every cybersecurity professional remembers. We'll hear about ransomware incidents, difficult customer conversations, expensive mistakes, security investigations, and the lessons learned from real world cyber crises. You won't want to miss part 3. Until then, stay curious and remember that good security is built long before an attack begins.